Hey folks, Connor from NYCeWheels here, and we're going to review the top-of-the-line e-bike from Bulls, the Dail-E Grinder. So in this review, we'll go through all of these top-notch specs on the bike. We'll talk a little bit about the Bosch Performance Speed system, and we'll most importantly talk about how the bike rides. So the Dail-E Grinder is quite a bit different from a lot of the other e-bikes that Bulls makes. It's set up more as a gravel grinder kind of bike. So it's the only bike that they have that offers drop bars. It's also the only bike that they have that offers Shimano Di2 electronic system, which is incredibly smooth. This bike is a Class 3 speed pedelec, so it uses the Bosch Performance line speed motor. That's going to allow you to get yourself up to 28 miles an hour in top speed. And as with all of the 2017 Bulls bikes that use the Bosch system, this bike features the 500 watt-hour battery pack. So even though the Dail-E Grinder might look like a road bike, it's definitely not set up that way as far as the components go. You have some pretty thick Schwalbe Marathon Supreme tires on here that are going to provide a decent amount of cushion while not taking away too much from the speed. So for the gear setup, you do have a 1x11 drivetrain, and that's going to be the Shimano Di2 and Ultegra group set that you have back here in the derailleur. So a nice wide gear range on that 11-speed cassette, and a lot of high-end electric bikes are moving towards that. You'll see that as a popular trend in the market today. Some other more commuter-oriented features are going to be the SKS fender set that it comes with, as well as this kind of interesting pannier rack that really isn't made to carry anything on the top. So it's going to cut down on the weight in the back of the bike a little bit because it really just has these bars to clip on your panniers, and then kind of the blockers over here so that that's not interrupting your gear shifting. So moving on up towards the front of the bike, you're going to have a little added comfort with this suspension fork from RockShox. You're able to adjust it to lock it out or keep it, fully on. It's about 100 millimeters of travel that you have on the front fork. You could see the nice drop bar handlebar shape with these brake hoods. And what's interesting about both of these levers is that you're able to control the shifter from both shifting levers here. So it's not like just having one in your right hand and having one kind of be a dummy lever or not working at all. Both sides are going to be able to shift the bike the same way. So a great ambidextrous setup for any kind of rider. This bike also comes with a top-of-the-line lighting set. You're going to get the Supernova M99 front and rear lights. So this front light is going to be almost as bright as a motorcycle light when you're out there at night. And in the back, you're going to have a nice 5 LED M99 rear light, and that's actually a brake light. So when you do press on the brakes, it's going to get quite a bit brighter, so you can let all the cars behind you know that you're stopping. It's very common to see that on the Class 3 speed pedelecs that are coming out. So a really nice thing that Bulls has done with a lot of their 2017 bikes is integrate the motor a little more up into the frame. So you can see how the whole thing is kind of angled upwards. So that's going to prevent you hitting anything on the bottom here. You also have a nice kind of skid plate protection. So it gives the bike a really nice clean look, makes it look as not electric as possible. You also have the nice 500 watt-hour battery pack that doesn't really add a whole lot of weight compared to the 400 watt-hour pack, and it's going to give you a whole lot of range. When you do buy the bike, it's also important to keep your shifting system charged since it is powered separately from the main battery pack. So right under the stem here, you have your little battery pack for the Di2, and your Di2 charger is separate. So once in a while, you'll need to charge that and just plug that up right in there. And finally, another nice finishing touch that you get with the Dail-E Grinder is an FSA carbon seat post. So that'll help a little bit with vibration dampening, even though this bike does not have a rear suspension. So moving on up to the cockpit of the bike, it's got a little bit of a different setup than you'll see on most Bosch powered e-bikes. Usually this little thumb panel here is at the end of your handlebars, but because we have the drop bars, they've added this nice little add-on piece that just tucks it out a little bit further from the display, a little bit easier to reach than pressing the buttons on here. Then you also have a nice little bell that's kind of integrated into the stem, so a nice added safety feature there. Going through some of the settings really quickly, you have your 4 modes of assist, you have your turbo, sport, tour, and then your eco to save the most battery. And then going through a couple of the display readouts that you'll see on the bottom. You can just press your info button on the middle and then go through some of those. You have average speed, trip time, range, which is a really nice tool to have just to check on. If you are not sure of how many miles you're going to get out of your battery, that'll be able to tell you. the odometer for your total distance, the trip distance, which is resettable by just holding the reset button, and then your time clock and max speeds. So all pretty much the information that you need on this Bosch Intuvia display, front and center, easy to see while you're riding, and very informative. So for those of you used to a road bike setup or any bike with drop bars, the Dail-E Grinder is definitely going to feel right at home. It's an excellent ride for those longer commutes because it has that higher top speed at 28 miles an hour. So if you're riding, 15, 20, or even more miles a day, this is a great one to get you home and to work even faster than before. This bike handles extremely well and is surprisingly comfortable. So that's due to the front shock as well as the tires. So the combination of those two actually makes this a really comfortable ride, although it may not appear that way. So the combination of a Bosch system and Shimano Di2 electronic shifting it really makes for an excellent ride. The shifting is going to be basically flawless on this bike. And that combined with the Bosch shift sensing is going to make sure that you're never mashing on your gears even if you're shifting a lot. So with all the excellent features that this bike offers, it's really set up for, well, the daily grind. It's truly made to be a commuter workhorse. The whole thing all around is a fairly lightweight electric bike since you have all the electric weight kind of low and center with that mid-drive, a more minimalist rack to carry those panniers, and a nice drop bar setup to stay aerodynamic in your ride and get where you need to be as fast as possible. Thanks so much for watching our review of the Bulls Dail-E Grinder. To read up more about this bike, you can click the link in the description that leads you to our website, and you can like, share, and subscribe, as well as turn on your notifications to let you know when we release more e-bike content.